In a matter of seconds, my friends, we're going to be joined in studio by the great Joe Pyfer, 14-3, 5-1 in the UFC. Picked up a big win, 28 years young. We had him in the studio, the old show, but it's a new era. He just had a huge win at the Prudential Center in his home state of New Jersey. Let's say hello to the one and only Body Bags himself, Mr. Joe Pyfer. Yeah, there he is. The man. It's a nice jacket, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please, have a seat. Have a seat. They give you that?
Yeah, they gave me this.
Wow. Just because you're from Jersey or what?
Nah, unfortunately, everybody got it.
Everyone got it? Oh, I like it, though.
Yeah.
I like it.
I don't know how special it is if we all got it.
Well, you look fantastic. It's good to have you in studio. This is my show, by the way.
Yeah.
It didn't get canceled. We're still on 3 days a week.
Listen.
It's nice to have you.
I forgot. But I knew it wasn't canceled because I'd watched the show and seen you interview Sean.
It's all good. I'm just giving you crap. Congratulations. Congratulations on the win. In the post-fight interview, it seemed like you were like happy, but also like a little bit bummed that you didn't stop him. How do you feel 3 days later?
I think I was pretty bummed just because I didn't get the finish, and I hold myself to a high standard. I think I'm a guy that has the power to finish anybody.
Mm-hmm. You were close.
I was pretty close, but he recovers really well, and I think I think a lot of the negativity from the fight is just you have to fight Kelvin a certain way. I don't think you can ego fight him and be in a, like a power for power, like let's just exchange. He thrives. He's a guy that thrives when you do film study of getting hit and then returning fire. And so that's why we were like super patient. And I really expected him to come at me a lot more. That's what we based our game plan off of. And he didn't do that. So
I feel like part of the reason why he didn't do that is because he felt your power in the first round and that would change someone's attack.
But then
right?
that's why we kind of were like waiting for each other.
Yeah.
But the only thing I'll say is I just don't understand how anybody could see how that fight was close.
So the judges gave him two of the judges gave him the third round.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
I could see their case for that for the third round only, just because he had a big 1-2 that he hit me with, which was his most significant strikes of the fight. But I mean, ultimately, he landed 6 shots on me. I think he landed 1 jab, 1 check right hook, 1-1-2, and 2 body shots. That's my recollection of the fight. Watching it back, like I just don't understand in the second round how they could say he was landing anything.
Who's saying that? Who's saying that?
Just like the people on the scorecards, like with the
like
stats.
We just showed the scorecard right here. Everyone gave you the second round.
Okay.
It was just those 2 judges that Eric Colon and Chris Lee.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would say I won the first 2 for sure, and then maybe I would say the third round was 50-50. In my opinion, I believe I won it, but yeah, I know I hit him with like a good 1-2, just as hard as he hit me with his 1-2. But then I got the takedown. How much of a takedown was it? Because he rolled through, so I didn't really have control. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be mad with that. Yeah, so I think I was just hard on myself because I wanted to finish and I wanted to be the first guy to knock him out, and I didn't get that. And it is what it is, man. But, I had back surgery. I came back after a year. I think I had a good performance. I had back-to-back weight cuts just like he did. They're pretty hard for me to make. So, I think I handled everything well. I got to fight in front of my president. Yes. So it's,
Did you talk to him?
Yeah, I mean, just like briefly, like hitting the cage until I got his attention, and I was like, "Yo, this is USA, motherfucker," and that was it. So and he like pointing at me, and it was cool. And then obviously Mike Tyson was there, who's one of my favorites. So yeah, it was pretty cool. I felt really relaxed in there.
When we talked before the fight, you said you were still kind of dealing with some of the stuff from Mexico, like health-wise.
Stomach, man. Still now.
Still?
Yeah, still. So basically...
So how did it affect you with the weight cut and everything?
It was painful.
Really?
It was painful. It's just, I just feel like I have, like, something with the acid in my stomach got really messed up. And, like, I guess just, like, what I'm really used to, like, regular, like, instead of... going to your normal, I still have my normal times of like when I go to the bathroom type things, but like I'll get this acid feeling like burn in my stomach. And it's just, I take probiotics, prebiotics, like I'm pretty good. Like I'm really good I'm so good with my diet now that it's like even eating pizza yesterday, I was like sick from it.
Wow.
Because of the acid. Like I can't eat pizza no more. And that's kind of depressing. But
yes.
But
have you gone to a doctor since, like recently?
No, I haven't. But I'm gonna get checked out. That's why they were like, "Oh, what's next? What's next?" And I'm like, I'm gonna trying to get my health back to 100%. And I also just had like this crazy congestion since I've been there. And yeah, I don't know. I have no idea, man.
Any of the other fighters that dealt with this stuff, did you talk to them if they're still dealing with it?
Well, I heard Mark Montoya is still struggling.
Wow.
So I don't know how deeply, but no, I haven't talked to them. And, you know, some people were like, how's Joe the only one I got sick out there? I was like, bro, like 4 of my team, four out of 15 of my teammates got sick just like I did. So, but yeah, it is what it is.
Fighting back home in Jersey for the first time in the UFC, what was that like?
It was cool, man. It was cool. Everything felt super comfortable. I didn't feel stressed out, like who's flying and getting a big enough Airbnb for everybody. And I just, you know, it was easy. It was an 1.5-hour drive from my house. So I just drove up. Didn't have to actually be there till Thursday. So I stayed there, went to a nice gym out there. It's called GTG, and it was probably the coolest gym I've ever been to.
Really?
In
Newark?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's in Linden.
Okay.
But it's an invite only, and I met this guy Ash through Dante Rivera, who's up this way, and they connected me, man. They were awesome. They had a big cage, a small cage, a boxing ring, a sauna that was made out of like a shipping crate.
Wow. Just for pros or for regular people?
Yeah. I mean, it's for regular people too if you go and you train there, but it's an invite-only type gym. But they comped everything and like took care of me and my team. So it was pretty sick, man. I have to say that made the fight week so easy. The owner, Joe, was amazing. So
the juxtaposition of like being sort of like in enemy territory this time and then being at home must have been such a relief, right?
Yeah, no. So like, I have no problem being the enemy. I mean, I think people have turned so sour towards me because they don't understand. Like, I want to look back and laugh at some shit when I get older. You know what I mean? I don't get to do this forever, and you know, I've kind of embraced being the villain, even though I was the guy that everybody liked in the beginning, and now I'm probably like hated. It is what it is. I don't know. I don't know like what the ratio is, but it's just. You know, I've always been me. I've always been unapologetically myself and, you know, dare to be great as far as say what you believe. And, yeah, I think a lot of people have, like, twisted what it was. So, like, you know, going out there in enemy territory, I have no problem doing that. Obviously, I said what I said about Mexico. It's just I don't think professionally it makes sense to put fighters in that position where you can get sick and lose everything. You know what I mean? It's just, we put a lot of time into it, and I really did try my best out there to not get sick, and I did, and it is what it is. But yeah, so I didn't care if it was enemy territory or if it was home turf. I just prefer not to fight outside of the country, though.
It's so interesting because I was actually looking at some old videos and thinking of talking to you today, and the way we were introduced to you through the injury, through Contender Series, through your life story, the documentary. Yeah. To steal a wrestling phrase, like you were a babyface. Do you know what I mean? Like you were the ultimate good guy. Everyone felt for you. Everyone wanted to root for you. And now it's like, it's not the Mexican fan. It's like the American fans. Some of them are turning against you.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Lack of education on the sport.
What do you mean?
It's just stupid people. Because if you look at the guys that are saying it, I mean, I'm not gonna say this dude's name because I can't fucking stand this guy. But you know, there's a podcast guy out there, and he's just, I mean, he talks like he could whoop my ass.
He talks like he could beat you up.
He's like, oh, this fucking guy sucks at everything. Like, I stayed off social media all week.
Probably for the best.
Yeah, it was great. I just needed to lock in. Like, I enjoy it. I actually think it's funny. So it's to me, it's funny how upset everybody gets and like how passionate they are to hate me. And I have a lot of really good people that support me still, obviously, but it's just everybody always like makes what I say so much bigger than how I said it. And it's like, man, it's not that deep. It really isn't. Like everybody made fun of because I said, you know, Jack was older and I thought I would knock him out. And it's like, bro, but that's what I believed.
Yeah.
I went out there and I fought and I lost a decision. Like, and then everybody called me fraud check, and they don't understand why I'm salty about that. Salty Joe. It's like, bro, because I don't believe losing a decision to a guy who has 23 fucking UFC fights is considered fraud check. It's just not that's not how I view it as a fighter, and I don't think other fighters view it like that. It's always funny too when you get like your fellow fighters in the same organization. Like, you know, I've talked to some people and you know, fellow comrades in the UFC, and they don't view me like that at all. At all. But then if you go to the casual fan, it's like they're like, oh, you fucking suck, you're this, you're that. It's like, whatever. Like, it's kind of funny, but I mean,
you don't get riled up by it.
So It depends. It depends. Like 99% of the time, no, I actually think it's funny.
Okay.
But there is the 1%. Sometimes, you know what I mean? Like maybe I woke up on the wrong side of the bed that day, and when you go on Instagram and you read negative shit every day, yeah, it can bother you. But
how do you react?
I
Do you write back?
No, yeah, sometimes. Yeah. But if I write back, it's because I think it's funny.
Yeah, okay, okay.
Or somebody just said something really stupid that I just can't comprehend. I'm like, bro, like, did you even think this through before you posted it? But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I respond. Most of the time I don't. Just because I can't fight everybody.
Sure. And like, why allow those thoughts to occupy your mind?
Well, that's why I got off social media, right? Whether it bothers me or not, it still has an effect on your brain subconsciously. 100%. So I got off social media this week and let my buddy handle everything as far as obligations and what I need.
I thought you were going to say social media, period.
Yeah, he was holding.
No, I mean like you're not on it at all anymore. No. Just for a week.
Yeah, just for
and then did you come back after the win?
Yeah. And now I'm collecting everybody's hateful messages because we're going to make a little collage.
Oh my God. Okay.
Bro, that shit motivates me.
You're leaning into this though.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
I love it. Like everybody said I was going to get beat by KG, I was gonna get fucked up. I was gonna get done like Jack Hermanson did. I'm this, I'm that. I'm Princess Joe, Soft Joe, Poopy Pants Pyfer, like all this shit, which I think is funny. But it's like, I mean, I think I pretty handedly whooped his ass without taking any damage. Look at my face.
Yes.
I'm walking. I'm fine. I don't have anything hurt. But you know, and everybody's so mad. But you know, Kelvin wasn't that mad. And I apologize to Kelvin in the back, you know, if I did offend him. I apologize to the Mexican people. What I said, I could have said differently. I shouldn't have said it the way I did. But, you know, I still stand at, like, I don't want to fight there type thing. And that's what I think got me a lot of, obviously, deserved flack, I think. But
do you think it was just that, or did you feel it coming even before all of this?
People were talking crap even before that, you know?
I feel like the Jack fight was the turning point, right?
Yeah, that's when everybody turned.
Isn't that a weird thing? Because, like, you didn't do anything offensive in that fight. You just lost the fight.
Well, apparently, you know, I was being disrespectful before saying I was going to knock him out and all these things. And it's like, bro, but that's just what I believe.
Yeah.
Like, I don't believe I don't go into a fight thinking I'm going to lose. Like, I wholeheartedly, in my heart of hearts, didn't believe I was going to lose, and I lost. Like, so, and then everybody's like, fraud check. I'm like, bro, that's not fraud check. Fraud check is you don't go out there and can't even fucking compete with that guy.
You said Bo Nickel got fraud checked.
So I don't think, I'm saying if we're going to define fraud check, it would be Bo Nickel going out there, fighting up in competition and getting finished the way he got finished. That would be considered fraud check. The only reason I personally won't say that Bo Nickel got fraud checked is because what he's done in only 7 fights is amazing. And the time he has in the sport, bro, if you put me in the UFC against RDR, like we've done with Bo, I would lose.
Right.
Like if me and Bo have the same amount of training time, like how many years he's 2-3 years in, 4 years, I don't know, something like that. If I was 4 or 5 years in MMA and he was 4 and 5 years in MMA, I would have lost the same way. So I don't think he got really fraud checked. I just think he's so young in his career and he has a ton of potential, but fraud check is when you step in against higher competition and you get absolutely obliterated like you don't belong there. And that's what happened. That's fraud check. I stepped in and fought Jack, and I was very competitive until I got punched in my eyeball, and then he kicked the shit out of me, and I couldn't see nothing. So
Patchy, did Patchy get fraud check?
I don't think Patchy got fraud check. No, I mean, he's 20-1. He's a veteran.
Okay,
you know so he just lost the fight.
Because he was just saying, like, this guy's a journeyman. I'm going to walk right through him. He comes over from Bellator, and it wasn't the best performance. I know you fought right after him, so
maybe nerves got to him. Yeah. You know, I don't know if anybody's interviewed him or talked to him yet, but from what I've seen him fight in Bellator, he didn't fight that way. So maybe
he looked like a different guy.
So I wouldn't call it fraud check. Maybe the nerves got to him. Right?
Yeah,
like obviously he didn't get finished. Yeah, he got beat, and I think he lost every round. But I wouldn't say you got fraud check because he's obviously tough. He's durable. He's fought a lot of really good competition. But maybe the UFC, like that's the other thing, right? You're fighting in front of your president. You're fighting in front of, a bunch of people at this level. Like PFL doesn't sell anything.
No.
So, and Bellator, I don't think they're the same league. So maybe that got to him. Maybe the nerves got to him and he put a big expectation on himself and maybe that's what hindered his performance, But Mario Batista's a dog. He's a tough dude. So, yeah, I don't like to say people get fraud checked, man. And it's different if I say it. I'm a fighter.
Sure.
But these casual fans is just crazy. They swear they know some shit. but they've never fucking fought. Like half of them are fat as hell and they can't even take care of their fucking diabetes, bro. This shit's crazy.
I like heel Joe Pyfer. This is fun.
I think it's funny, but it's just like these podcasters are the ones that actually get a reaction from me.
Oh, okay.
Because they're the ones that run their mouth. Like I just saw yesterday, and the one guy's like, "Man, he's a fucking piece of shit."
Who's
Joe
talking
Pyfer.
like this? Who's talking like these? Aren't professional guys, right?
Well, I guess they're trying to be with 265 views. I don't fucking know, but
why are you watching videos like that?
Just because I like to see what people say. Like I go back and I watch all the predictions of what people who they
you
thought.
Go back and do that?
Yeah. Yeah, I just like to stay aware, man. You know what I mean? I want to, like I said, I'm 14-3 in MMA, bro. I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yes. I'm not a scrub.
Yes.
I belong where I'm at, and you know, I want to get better. I know I have a lot of areas to get better, and I know I'm 28 years old, man. Like, you know, I get to live my dream, and I get to perform. Like, I just beat a Hall of Famer, and I just beat a guy I grew up watching, and you know, and I dropped him, and I hurt him, and. Yeah, I had a good fight, man. I think it was a maturity fight, you know? When I was against Jack, I was just throwing big shots, big shots. I was doing that here, but part of why I was throwing one singular shot was a part of our style, our game plan, because you can't throw 2-3 and then risk getting cracked back by him. So,
do you allow yourself to enjoy, though, the victory?
I haven't enjoyed this one.
Why?
Because I feel like I could have done so much more. But it's also because I think the negativity of, like, it wasn't, you know, I didn't bonus out. I didn't knock him out. So, like, me personally, I kind of let myself down. Yeah. Yeah, I hold myself to a high standard, you know? And then I just know, I can do so much more, man. So, but I am happy ultimately. Like, I talked to my coach because I was just like, you know, be honest, what'd you think? And they were happy. They were like, dude, you did exactly what we told you to do, which was to not throw too many punches because you might get caught standing up. And if you watch Kelvin's success, he is a dog, and he has thrived on people trying to knock him out. And then that's where he catches you. So, yeah, just kept it to one big shot, you know, 2 shots at the most. And, I mean, again, what damage did I really take that anybody could say the fight was close? I don't remember getting hit besides 6 times. I got hit with a jab, a chuck hook, 1-2, and 2 body shots.
You were up 2-0, and then the story for me, the broadcast was kind of trying to sell that it was closer than it was. They were
a little hard on me.
Yeah, did you feel?
Yeah, Joe Rogan, and it was a little hard on me. Which
like
is
what? What did he say? That
I just think the expectation is set so high for me that if I don't get a devastating finish, then everybody kind of starts being like, oh, if he wants to fight the higher competition, he's got to do this, he's got to do that. It's like, bro, Abus Magomedov just fought Michel Pereira when he was 2-2 in the UFC, and now he's ranked number 11. Like, you could go from being unranked and 27 is what he was or something like that to number 11 on one fight. Like, I'll get the better competition. Relax. Like,
yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think they were a little bit, I don't even want to say unfair because I don't give a fuck, but it's just I think they were a little bit unfair as far as like the reality of the fight. Like it was not a close fight. I was never in danger.
And so that was the thing. Like the only intrigue in the third was
he hit me with a good one too.
Yeah, and he would have to have stopped you. He would have to have stopped. How hard does he hit from that 1-2, the one exchange?
He hits hard.
Yeah.
I think it would have hurt somebody else. But yeah, he hits hard. It didn't rock me. I wasn't buzzed. Like I didn't get like a ring. I didn't get like a woof or like my face went numb. Like nothing like that. It was like, oh shit, he hit me. Okay. But it was because I leaned. That was part of one thing we didn't want to do. As I leaned to the right instead of sliding back. And yeah, the one time I was like, he's not going to throw. He threw it. So yeah.
I just love the idea of Joe Pyfer gets a huge win, Prudential Center, UFC pay-per-view, and then he's watching a podcast with 200 views and getting riled up over it.
Yeah.
Like seeking it.
I don't know how not to. Because to me, it's like I've never in my life, no matter I lost a parlay, because I used to lose all of my UFC parlays. Back when we were allowed to do it, I'd lose it all. So I've never been so upset, though, to go and like shit talk somebody that has nothing to do with me. Like you got people that are emotionally invested and upset that I'm saying something about somebody else I'm going to fight or about an experience I had. I understand the Mexico thing. Like I said, I understand that. But, aside from that, it's like people are upset that like I say what I believe or I say how I feel. Well, then don't ask me fucking questions. I won't say shit then. Like I'm just going to be me. And I think I don't think people can handle a guy like me that really doesn't care how you feel about what I say, I'm still going to say it. And I think it rubs people the wrong way, or it might be insensitive to some people's little baby feelings. And
I think we need characters like you.
I do too. I think it's a real man's way of living. Like, say how you feel and say it direct and be blunt and get your point across the table. And that, and I'm not afraid to say how I feel. I'm not afraid to say how I think something's going to happen, or what I want to happen, or what I'm looking for. Like, I put it out there, and if it happens, it happens, so it is what it is. But yeah, I like watching, going through, and like keeping track of all these little fuckers that like run their mouth. Because like this one guy, I really hope I see one day. I really do, man. I would love to just bitch slap the shit.
You know his name?
I do know his name.
Okay.
I can show you off camera.
All right. You don't want to put him over.
Nah, I don't want to give him any. I don't want to give him any.
I saw the one guy at the pre-fight presser talking about your hair.
Oh, he was cool. He was cool. I knew he was joking. He was cool.
Okay.
Yeah,
because I was like, man, it's bold.
It was a backhanded compliment, but like, I mean, he's not wrong. Like, it is a great comeback.
No, I know, but I didn't know if like, wow, you feel really comfortable. I didn't know if you knew him or if you had any.
Never seen.
So it could be taken as an insult, right? It could be taken as a shot.
Yeah.
And I think you said something like, "Oh, I'm going to remember you" or something. I was like, "Oh, geez." Yes, I was like, "Are you?" I couldn't tell how mad you were in that moment. You weren't?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No. I mean, look, bro. Like, everybody, like, that was the one thing the dude like tried to talk crap to on. He was like, "Oh, I'm secure in myself," but like he went over and got hair. Jeez, I'm like, bro, I didn't pay for it. I had Now Hair Time that paid for me and my coach. They flew us first class and they did the shit for free. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I have the option. So if I want to go back to being bald, which I was absolutely fine with, then I can have hair or go bald. I don't give a shit. Like, but it's just funny. Like,
it is a tremendous job, by the way.
It's not bad.
You would never know.
Yeah, you would never know. You would never know, except my shit is straight.
Yes. And
But,
do you have to like go back or?
No.
That's it, one time.
Yeah, I mean, if it falls out again, you would go back, but I wouldn't go back.
Does it like, is it supposed to fall out?
No. So it's literally to just take the hair from your back of your head. That's like, because that is a very popular area that always grows back. So they just pluck it out. Like, they take the hair follicle out and then they insert it in the front. So it's my own hair from the back to the front.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So are you supposed to grow out the back?
Well, my hair grew back, yeah.
No. Meaning, like, when you go there, do they tell you? Hey,
no, so they shave it just like your head would be, and then they pluck each thing, yeah.
One by one?
Yeah, one by one. Yeah, it's kind of a crazy thing. They did like,
How long
I think
does
it was
that
like
take?
5,000 grafts. I think like 6 hours, 7 hours. It took like 3 hours, maybe 5 hours. I don't know. I think it was like 2.5, 3 hours for them to pluck everything. And then, they let you go eat, and then you come back in, and then they start like taking
Does that
the thing
kill?
and like, well, you don't feel any of it.
Oh,
the only thing that hurts is like the 35 fucking anesthesia needles they stick in your head before you get numb.
Yes. 35?
I mean, something like that. It's
oh
a
my
lot.
God.
And then they put fluid, they inject fluid around your dome, so that way your pores like open up and your head expands. Wow. So you look like fucking Megamind, bro. Yeah. I was traumatized. I remember when I went with my coach, I was like, bro, I can't believe I just did this. Like, I literally didn't look. I didn't look or research anything. I'm kind of
went for you were his like his wingman.
Full send kind of
guy.
Yeah. So I literally, but that's the main reason I went is because my jiu-jitsu coach wanted it, and I kept telling them no, and I was like, all right, well, if they give it to you for free, I said I'll make you a deal. I'll go with you. So we went. And,
how's his look?
His looks great.
Okay.
He's a darker, he's black, Hawaiian, Japanese, like, so he's got darker skin complexion, and his came in, I think, better than mine. But
wow.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a crapshoot. You just have to sort of wait and see how it's going to look when it comes back.
It looks like shit for like the first 6 months.
Sure.
Like when I fought Marc-Andre Barrios, dude, that training camp, I remember I shot a double leg, hit the mat, and my head was still so raw and like nervy and sensitive. It's definitely painful for a couple months, but yeah, I mean.
So someone hates on you for this. Like, this is all very weird stuff that this is out there, but also that you're paying attention to it.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are people in your life who are telling you not to pay attention to this, right?
Yeah, of course. It's just hard. It's like, if I'm not going to pay attention to it, then I should just get off social media.
That's true.
It's hard to
But maybe it's giving you an edge.
I think it does. So
you're going to go full heel here.
Oh yeah. Like we're already like making, like, my buddy Chandler is making like a little highlight of all the shit that people talked before this
He
fight.
did the doc, right?
He did the doc.
Yeah.
And he enjoys it too, because it bothers him too, because it's like, at the end of the day, what I do is to provide for me and the family I want to build, and for my life, and you know, and it means a lot to me. And I almost got turned away from the sport with the injuries, and even, you know, I fought Mark, and 2 weeks after that, I got back surgery. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm very injury prone. And I haven't had an easy road, and you know, it's not the hardest one, but it's, you know, this game is special to me. So when everybody wants to just take shots, it's like, that's fine. I'm responsible for the things I say, but I just don't think people are very educated on the sport, so they think their opinions are like facts, and they're just not. You know, it's different. Like I said, if I was to say Bo Nickel sucks, I should be allowed to say that. I have the possibility of fighting him. But for just regular people that have no idea what that guy's life is or what my life is, and, you know, they get to speak so harshly on it, it's the only sport where I think it's that brutal.
Boxing too, to a degree.
Boxing too, but like boxing, I mean, these guys make so much money that I don't think they even fucking look at their Instagrams, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm out here, I gotta fight, you know? Right. So these guys can fight once every 5 fucking years with the money they make. So, yeah, I don't know if it's the same. But yeah, I mean, yeah, people, I would say it's probably the same then, I guess.
By the way, do you think Bo Nickel sucks?
I do not.
Okay.
I do not. I think he's going to keep getting better and better. And I like watching him, man. Like, I wanted him to win. You know, I'm Team USA, and I wanted to see him win. I just don't know who he trains with. You know what I mean? I'm sure he's got great coaches and everything like that, but does he have yes men? Or is he actually getting those hard rounds? Is he actually getting those gritty, like, break you mentally type rounds in the gym? Because it doesn't look like it when he transferred over into the fight. It looked like the second he was getting hit because things weren't going his way, he was very, very, very uncomfortable. So, I don't think he sucks at all. I think he's amazing for what he's done that early. And, I mean, the sky's the limit for the guy if he can, you know, get his striking down.
You mentioned, you know, the injuries and everything you've been through. If you weren't a fighter right now, if the injuries were so bad, or if life took you in what do you think you'd be doing now?
I'd probably be a deadbeat mechanic, man. I don't know.
You think so?
I think I probably would have been working on cars because I developed that trade. I don't know. That's the scary part, right? Is like, I never knew. I never could picture. I've tried to picture things like that in case something went bad, but I just never could do it. So I never really thought that deep about it. It was just like, man, I don't know. Same question, same answer I had.
You didn't have a dream. Like the dream, but like, okay, so maybe like the realistic, like, okay, if this doesn't work out.
Never had that.
No, wow.
No,
it was
always UFC.
Wow.
Always UFC. And I would say this was the fight that I came closest to achieving the dream because I was finally on a pay-per-view card on a big spot against a veteran and fighting in front of the president. Like, I handled a lot. I handled my first press conference. I handled fighting in front of the president, talking to him, like saying what's up to him at least, you know, dealing with all the fans and all that. Like, this is all first for me still. Home state, you know, all that so-called pressure. I do well with all that. Like, you didn't see me flustered or bothered by any of that. I enjoyed the walkout, was having fun. Like, I was happy to be there. And these are all things that sometimes can break people. So, you know, but these are all my first moments to experience in the UFC in my own career and my own journey. And a lot of people don't look into those details. Like, I handled all that plus winning the fight. And I feel like I won the fight pretty dominantly. But yeah, I'm only getting better, man, and but no, this was all I had, man. This is all I've ever had. So.
Do you remember when the dream started?
8 years old.
8 years old. You saw a fight?
Old. Yeah, 8 years old. It was the dream of walking out in front of like 20,000 people screaming my name.
What did you see that allowed you to think that? Like, did you see someone on TV? And
been watching UFC since I was like 5.
Wow, who introduced you to it?
My father.
Wow.
Yeah, my father. He was the one that was doing. He was learning MMA from a guy named Steve Haig, and then as he was learning, he would come back and show me and make me learn as well, and which I'm grateful for, you know what I mean? So even though we've always had our differences and we don't have a good relationship and probably won't ever talk again, I still love the guy for that and respect him for that, you know? So he gave me the tools that built the house I live in now. So that's how I see it. And
you have not talked even in this...
No.
When's the last time you spoke?
Me and him, it's been a couple of years. Probably maybe 3+ years, 4, something like that. So
what was the last time, if you don't mind me asking?
The last time was just him like he was making fun of me about something, like saying my jab sucked or something like that, because he basically was pretending he was me when I would train when Daniel Gracie was a part of our team. Daniel Gracie thought he was texting me, but he was texting my dad, my father's number.
Oh.
And so my dad pretended to be me for almost 2 years.
You're kidding.
No. And so,
What?
so when I found that out, I was just like, yeah, I got a different number. I was like, I'm not dealing with this dude no more. But he was basically just like saying I sucked and I wasn't doing this. And I got beat up at practice because I wasn't doing this. And I'm like, how the fuck does this guy know what's going on? And then I started thinking there was a rat in the gym. And I'm like, which one of you And it wasn't any of them. It was just.
Damn. Yeah. Did you tell him that you found out?
Nah. I found out in Abu Dhabi, actually, when Sean lost to Bilal Muhammad.
Wow.
Because we were all trying to put our numbers in a WhatsApp group to text each other. And dumbass Daniel was like, oh, Pyfer, this is your number? And I was like, no, you idiot. I was like, that's my dad's number.
Oh, no.
So I found out then.
And then you put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, I put 2 and 2 together because then he was like, look, I text you right here, motherfucker. And I'm like, that's not me, you idiot. Like, so
oh my gosh.
I read the messages and stuff. Yeah.
It was heartbreaking?
No, because I expect it from him. Like he basically, man, he's in a position of like just being desperate. You got to remember, like the last time I was on here, I think I was a little harsh towards my mother and my sisters, like saying about like white trash. Like I have since developed a relationship with my mother.
Great.
And my one sister, my 2 youngest sisters. I finally got to meet like my other nieces and nephews and things like that. It's
amazing.
And they've been apologetic, and that's something I can look past and move forward. Like, he was the real damage. There were obviously me and my mom had our things and issues and damage, and so did my sisters for sure. But I think it's a lot more forgivable as far as letting them back into my life than my father, because they didn't try to kill me. They didn't try to break me mentally. You know what I mean? It's just they were absent at times for a big chunk of time. But like he's out here trying to like Dr. Phil's show reached out, and I was like, I'm not doing that.
Really?
And yeah, so
to go on with him.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm not doing that because basically he just wants to be relevant because of me. He doesn't feel that I deserve where I'm at without him. And like I said, he deserves credit where credit is due. He's the one that got me into it and everything. But I mean, this guy tried to cut me off from jiu-jitsu at 15 years old. This guy didn't want me to train with anybody else because they were taking over his property, what he raised, what he was built to be a champion. And he even put out his own documentary that he got almost 50,000 views off of just because of he has my name. I have his name. And it was just a complete denial. Like, I never abused him. I was just tough on him verbally. But it's like, brother, you have an ex-wife that could testify to the abuse that you did to your kids, let alone her. You have 4 other children that could testify to the abuse, that saw it with their own eyes of what you did to her and to them and to me, especially. So it's like, in his mind, I think he's just one of these guys that has told himself a certain story for so long that he believes it's true. And it's just wild. So, but he's still trying to make another part of a documentary to try and come out against.
So he's not trying to reconcile. He's trying. He's almost making this work.
The only reason he agreed, think about it, Ariel. The only reason he would agree to something as public as Dr. Phil is because it's public, because it's relevancy. Like, but what? Like I told the one guy that I talked to, I was like, bro, what do I have to gain by doing that?
No,
he has nothing. He's been his last wife divorced him. He lives in a 2-bedroom or 1-bedroom apartment. Like, he has no kids in his life. He has no family. He has no friends. Like, he's got one friend all of a sudden. And it's like, because you've ruined every single bridge. Every bridge he could have crossed, he burnt and blew it up. I mean, if that doesn't show, and all the while he's saying everybody's fucking him over. So it's like, bro, how is everybody screwing you over, but you're the only one that has nobody around you? Why does everybody hate Joe Pyfer IV? Like, actually, it's not true. Everybody's starting to hate Joe Pyfer V. So I'm almost there with you, Pops. I'm almost there. But you know what I mean? So
there are 5 of you.
There's 5 of us. Yeah.
Holy
so I have 2 older sisters. There's Sarah Hannah, and then me, and then Rachel and Amy.
But the 5th, like, there's 5 Joe Pyfers.
Yeah.
Who was the first?
No idea.
No idea. When do you start? Like, do you know the second?
I know.
He's the 4th.
Obviously there's me.
Your grandfather's the 3rd.
My father's the 4th. I met my grandfather. He was the 3rd, but I never met the 2nd.
Do you know anything about them?
I think so. I know the 3rd was in Vietnam. My grandfather was in Vietnam.
Wow.
He was a mechanic on a patrol boat on the river.
Wow.
And then his father, I think, was in the World War. but I'm not too sure on that. I think he was military also. So
if you have a son, will you call him Joe Pyfer?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I think there's been enough curses. I don't know, bro. I don't want him to get the hate that I'm getting.
Nah,
you know
it's
what I
not
mean?
because of that.
I don't know. It's a tough thing to do because I think I broke the cycle and I broke the chain. But I don't know. I don't think it has much meaning to me.
The name.
Yeah,
when you say the cycle, what do you mean?
Just being a piece of shit father to your kid, and when I say break the cycle, like also just as far as like the way I live my life, and being a Christian and like actually caring about people. Like I have sympathy, I have remorse, I'll apologize if I've offended somebody, and I at the end of the day, I don't think I'm a bad dude and I care about people, but yeah, I say breaking the cycle as far as like these guys have taken from a lot of people and they have never had remorse.
Was his dad like that? Your father's dad, your grandfather? Like, do you think?
In his words, because, there's a lot of people that watch me that get all upset and they'll DM me and be like, you talked about your grandfather, you don't know shit about him. I'm like, yeah, you're right, because I never really met him that many times.
Based on what you learned about him.
Like, I didn't know the guy that well. But yeah, me and my dad said, he was super abusive, and I believe my dad had a harder life than I did for sure.
Oh, wow.
He was homeless. His mom was, I think, a hooker at some point. I don't know.
Your dad was homeless.
That's how he put it. Yeah,
Sure.
My dad was definitely homeless, but that's, his words. He said that she was basically a prostitute, having different guys in, banging them to have a way to live and have food and things like that. So he was passed around from the time he was 3 years old and then was homeless from, I think, 14 till 19, hopping home to home. Said his dad was super abusive, said that his father sold drugs, things like that. But these are his words. So I think that there is some truth to it. I don't want to discredit his own life, but yeah, he definitely grew up fucked up too. But he never went and got help, and he never acknowledged he had a problem or that he wanted to get better or anything like that. And it just kind of transferred into his family life and onto his wife and obviously us 5 kids. Until this day, doesn't take accountability for it. So I think that's the biggest problem, right? It's like you have to take accountability. At some point, you don't want to die a piece of shit. And I think you have to admit when you've done something wrong, especially when it's supposed to be about people you were supposed to love and care for. And he's just never done that. Like he just completely avoids all of it.
Your siblings talk to him?
No. I know my second oldest sister did at some point, like here and there,
Right.
but she's the only one. So that's the other thing, right? Is like 12, 14 years later after the fact that he's left, you still have 3 of your 4 daughters that have never tried to talk to you.
Wow.
Why do they hate you that much?
Right.
Can you answer that? Like he made a documentary where he didn't answer those questions. He didn't answer how come they said they've seen you hit their mother and strangle their mother or beat their kids. Like he didn't address any of it. And now he's coming out with another documentary because he thinks he found somebody that he can get relevancy.
How do you know that he's doing this stuff? People tell you.
A lot of connections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to have kids?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Is part of the motivation like you want to, as you said, break the cycle, but like be the father to someone or multiple people that you didn't have?
I just think if I have kids one day, I just think I think it's the right thing to do is to, when you have kids, it's no longer about you. And you want to set that child up to have a successful life so you don't have the same struggles. They don't have the same struggles that you did. Everybody's going to struggle, right? Like you've struggled. Everybody in this world has struggled. And then that's how they find themselves and
Sure.
what they like, what they don't. At some point, they're going to have an obstacle or adversity they have to overcome. But I think it's very important that if I have a child, it's like I make sure that child knows that they're loved and that I support them as long as it's within reason, and it's good. And it's going to provide for them in the future, things like that. Like I'm not supporting some freak shit. That's why I'll leave it at.
What do you mean freak shit?
Just freak shit. I can't say because I get canceled.
Well, some people. I don't even think cancel culture is a thing anymore.
You don't think?
I don't think so.
You're setting me up for failure.
I'm not. My point is, a lot of people would say, I don't care.
Basically, I'm a Christian, Ariel, and I don't.
I got it.
There's certain things that like my kid's not going to be a fucking furry. I'm not going to deal with that.
I was in Pittsburgh one time and there was a furry convention and I did not know, I never heard of it. I was actually there for a fight, 2011. It was Nate Marquardt. Who is it against?
Tyron.
No, but you know what happened? Charlie Brenneman stepped up. You remember Charlie Brenneman?
Yeah.
Stepped up on 24 hours notice because Mark got he
Sick
popped
or whatever, yeah.
PDs. But the point is, I was at the hotel and there was all these people dressed up as animals.
Wild.
And I had not.
Where the wild things are.
Yo, that's my son told me there's a couple of kids in his class that do it. I was like,
yeah,
wow.
This is real shit. It's real shit. It's definitely some weird.
It's gotten more popular.
Yeah, it has. But you know, I don't support it.
Yeah,
and I have no problem saying that I don't support it. I think it supports mental illness, and I think it's a big problem in the world and what it's doing to kids and allowing them to live these fake fictional lives, and then when they get slapped in the face by reality, it's like they're not prepared at all, and they're on 10 medications for it. You know, it's. I think it's child abuse. I think it's really fucked up. But yeah, that's what I mean by like I'm not supporting no freak shit. Like I want my kid to have morals. I want him, if it's a boy, you know, I want him to be able to work on cars. I want him to, you know, have a trade at least, and I also want him to be, you know, educated on history and.
Would you want him to be a fighter?
No.
Why not?
Nah, because you have to be a different breed to be able to deal with this kind of shit.
What if he is that breed?
I'll let him do it.
In other words, will you try to support that, or would you try to steer him away from that?
No, I would let him make his choice. I think. I think, depending on how passionate I thought he was about it, like I wouldn't just take his word for it. Like I'd have to see that he wanted to go to the gym. He kept asking me to train, and then he was getting better at jiu-jitsu. Then he wanted to compete jiu-jitsu tournaments. Then he went to wrestle, and then he went to box. Like I'd have to see that effort for me to be like, I think this kid wants to do it, and I'm going to support him, and I'm going to help him. You know, obviously I could. Whereas my father, it was like I did all those things, and he was like, nah, I'm cutting you off because nobody else is getting control. And if I'm not it, nobody's it. And if I ain't going to say it, then nobody's going to say it. Like nobody gets a part of what I made. So me, yeah, if he was doing those things, I would support it. But, you know, I think I would initially try to get him. I would try to encourage him in a different sport. Just because the pay grade is so much different.
Right.
And he doesn't have to, you know, beat his body as bad as we do. This is, I think, a lot of training for, you know, such a small moment, I guess. And it beats up your body, bro. It beats up your mind, too, especially when you got all these dick eaters out here talking about.
And you guys, you don't have to say it, but I will. You guys don't get paid enough.
Yeah.
So it's like the John Jones situation where people refer to what he asked for as fuck you money. It's not fuck you money.
Yeah.
John Jones is worth that.
Yeah.
John Jones has earned that. You talked about the boxers. There are way less accomplished boxers than him who are making 3 times what he has made in his career per fight.
That's my only gripe. It's like I think it's just crazy because I think the UFC really does have some bad dudes. Like, and you know, we should be paid like the boxers because we put it on the line. One thing I'm not a fan of is the 50-50 purse. That's my only thing.
Oh, yeah.
I want guaranteed money.
Are you on the 50-50?
We're all on 50-50, unless you're like up there.
Sure. It's antiquated.
Yeah. I'm still new in my career, right? You know, so I'm still proving who I am. But I think I've proven that, you know, I'm going to bring it and I'm going to look for the finish. You know, I'm just not a decision guy. Like, could I have kept Kelvin on the ground? Yeah, I know I could have. Could I have grabbed him? Yeah, I know I could have. But I wanted to finish, you know, and I wanted to try and get that sweet shot and really like put him out and make a statement. And, you know, I didn't, but I still dominated. But yeah, I would prefer to have guaranteed money because I think the anxiety for me, just me personally, is just like, man, I'm fighting one of the best guys in the world. Anything can happen. But if I don't win, I only make this much.
Sure.
And that's
you deserve to know.
Yeah.
And you deserve to get
security.
the full amount. Yes,
like I'm 28 years old, bro. I don't want to be fighting for half my check because I lost.
It's crazy, especially when you have these judges, right?
Yeah, the fuck, like it's crazy. I just don't understand the stats, bro. In the second round, they said it was 14-10 him at one point.
Wow.
When the hell did I get fucking hit 14 times? Like, you get credit for punching the air? I don't get that shit. That's the only thing, bro. It's crazy. And I didn't see, I was watching in the back, but I wasn't paying attention. I had like an audiobook on, but like apparently Spivak got robbed too.
It was close.
Yeah.
It was close.
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
What are you listening to in the back? What audiobook?
Inner Excellence, the book that AJ Brown was reading. It just really, I was making the moment bigger than it was, and I just kept listening to it because I was reading the book, but I was, you know, too many people talking.
Sure.
So I just put the headphones on and bought the audiobook. And And it just kept me in check, man. Just kept
chilled
me
you
really
out?
present. Yeah, because
Have you ever done that before?
No,
Wow.
first time. I'm not a big book reader, but I do like history. I'll read like on the internet and things like that about like World War and shit like that. Like I'm interested in history, but it was the first time that I really was like trying to let go of the result. Like I really tried to like make sure I was present to enjoy the moment. You know, I knew Donald Trump was going to be there and Mike Tyson and all these people and just like my friends and stuff like that. So I really tried to make sure I was in the moment and didn't care about the result, but cared about the effort and the performance. Like, and I think what I've been learning, which is probably why everybody hates me, is I was a very, very, very ego-driven fighter. And ego-driven as far as like I was obsessed with the result, the knockout, the money afterwards, the win, the bonus, all these things that they're all ego-driven. And so this book's been helping me a lot, like put it into perspective where it's like, man, you got to let go of all that. And all you have to harness is, you know, the one that wants to thrive in performance and performance only, doesn't know what's next, doesn't know what's after, and is only focused on this moment right here. What's where your feet are, where your eyeballs are, what you can see and where your feet are is what matters. And I think one of my toxic things has always been looking to the future. And I think that's why I didn't have a call out or nothing, because it's like, man, that also taints the win. Like I'm sitting here talking to you today and I don't feel like I fought Saturday and I don't feel like I won. I just feel like it's another day. That's kind of a good thing. Yeah. But it's also like, you know, I don't get that high off winning unless I get a finish. So that's the part of me that was like, you know, man, I know I could do better, because I'm always fucking hunting that right. feeling. You know, I want that feeling.
Did someone tell you about that book?
No, I saw it. I saw him reading it. Yeah, it was a real famous picture of him sitting there reading the Interactions book. And if anybody did tell me to read it, it was Sam Orpizza, who's I've known since I was like 10 years old. He's always encouraging me to read books and read this and read that. I'm just not a big book reader, but you know.
Have you ever tried to talk to like a sports
psychologist?
Yeah.
No. Sean Brady's recommended.
Does he do it?
To do it. Yeah, he does it. It's what helped him change his whole trajectory, you know, and like him being more present and being more social and things like that. Like he's obviously improved so much, but that's because, you know, he's gotten help, and there's nothing wrong with it, man. You know, these are high pressure situations, and like this is all first for me. Like I told you, right? It's kind of cool for me because it's like I've never dealt with any of this. I just know I can deal with it. But, you know, subconsciously you have things that affect you and you get these bad habits or you get these certain thoughts. Like you would never, without help, you would never sit there and think, okay, well, when these negative thoughts come in, like I'm not worthy or I might lose. Like you have to face those thoughts while they're in your head, and you have to spin them like it's in a blender and then bring out a different result. It's almost like you put the banana in, but then it comes out like a milkshake. It's like it's different. You have to spin it and then turn it and then get rid of it, and spin it and turn it and get rid of it. And it's just what the mind does, and it's really important. And I think it's going to help me a lot because I only just started doing it. And I think I've already learned a lot. So I think I was a very ego-driven, and still am, you know, an ego-driven person. Hence why I go back and look and see what people say, because it hurts my pride, hurts my ego, because I want to do something about it. Like, but yeah, you know, I'm learning on the job, Ariel.
I think you're doing a fine job, and I would suggest not being so hard. It's obviously easier for me to say, but to a degree, all fighters have to be ego driven, right? Like you're not, it's not a team sport. I know you have coaches and you're part of a gym, but this is all you, like you're there naked essentially in front of the world. And I feel for you guys, if only because among many reasons, like you get knocked out, now people are like clowning on you and posting things about you.
Make a meme.
I hate that.
No, imagine if I actually fought. So I woke up, I went to bed at 209 pounds in Mexico, 11 p.m. the night before the fight. I woke up at 6 a.m. When I say woke up, I didn't sleep. I was awake. I slept maybe 35 minutes to an hour. And I woke up at 6 and I was talking to Dr. Davidson, all them, whatever. He was like, well, what's your weight? I was 194 pounds. Like,
that's crazy.
Bro, I'm like close to making weight again. And I'm still vomiting and I'm shivering and I'm sick and all these things. And it's like, you know, then everybody's like, you're a pussy, you should die, you're this, you're that. And it's like, we up the cartel kills you all. It's like, bro, how did you want me to react? You know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying about the ego. It hurt my ego. It was like, because I felt like when I was down, and I was devastated. I've never pulled out of a fight. I fought with my hand broke in half. I fought with my toes glued together. I fought with a fracture. Like, I have fought through some crazy shit. And that time I just couldn't do it. And everybody's like, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. And it's like, damn, dude, like, this sport is ruthless. Like, they don't care how you feel. They don't care if your mom's about to die in an hour at home. You should fight. And it's like, nah, bro. Like I told you before, I think at one point, I've learned my lesson from the Jack fight, and I won't fight compromised if I can help it. And that was one of those things where it was like, I couldn't fight, period. And I wasn't going to be a shitting meme by going in there and trying to fight with my ego. Kelvin, I had a lot of respect for, and I expected him to be his best self of old. And that's what I trained for. And to give, you know, to be ignorant of that and go in there and think I could fight him just because I'm Joe Pyfer, that's too much ego. So I had enough respect that it was like, yo, I'll live to fight another day. I can't make it. And let's figure it out. I'm just very thankful that the UFC kept that fight together because, you know, that was a good fight for me.
You like the B. Joe Pyfer stuff? Do you still, you don't like it?
I never liked it.
You never liked it?
Nah, I never liked it.
Why?
I just hoped, I never liked it because it's fake love, man. It's fake love. They love you today, they hate you tomorrow type deal.
But it
came from Dana.
The guy.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it was cool, but it was always cringe to me just because I don't want people walk up and telling me be Joe Pyfer. Like, be Joe Pyfer is corny. Like, it's just, you know, you can't be somebody else. And but I did like the message of, I didn't like it for the reasons people interpret it. I liked it for the way that he said it. And he was saying, if you want to be in the UFC and this is where you want to be, act like Joe Pyfer, which was, I was passionate, I was vulgar, I screamed at him, I knocked the guy out, and I called my shot. And I came back, and I was a resilient motherfucker. I had 2 surgeries. They told me I wasn't going to fight again. That's be Joe Pyfer. That's called being a resilient dude and believing in what you said you were going to do and set out to be. And I didn't let people discourage me from it. That's be Joe Pyfer. Like, that's powerful. But, you know, just coming up and being like, be Joe Pyfer the way you fight. Like, nah, it's just have that intensity.
People come up to you and say that?
Yeah, it's corny. And it just, like, irritates me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get mad at people for it. Like, they don't know what bothers
me.
But to me, it's corny because it's just, like, they don't actually understand what be Joe Pyfer means. And I think it's much more than just how I fight.
You said on Saturday you didn't call anyone out. You wanted to be in the moment. Now that it's a few days later, do you have anyone on your mind? I know you also said you wanted to get, you know, back to 100%, but who do you think makes sense?
I think there's a bunch of fights that make sense, but I don't want to say their names because they have fights right now. I think like the next 6, 7 guys in front of me have fights, so I got to wait like this month. Like, a lot of them are fighting this month, so I got to wait.
Is there a dude, though, that like you think would be, you know, if he wins this next one?
Yeah, I would like to fight Marvin Vettori. I think that would be good. Yeah, I mean, that's like the only one that popped in my head.
Okay.
I think that would be a good fight. I mean, I would love to fight Paul Craig still, but I think he moved up, and I think I'm ahead of him, obviously. You can't lose to Bo Nickel and then me fight you. It doesn't make sense. I wanted to fight RDR. But now you got Robert Whitaker. I asked for the RDR fight before he fought Bo Nickel.
Oh, wow.
And they said they had other plans, so I was kind of disappointed with that. I would love to fight RDR.
You think he beats Robert Whitaker?
No.
I
don't. I just don't think he has the skills on the feet for it. And I think if Robert is able to... I think Robert has good takedown defense.
Oh, yeah.
Now, obviously, Khamzat is a different style and just is coming after you. But I don't think RDR possesses the skills to. He does possess the skills to beat Robert, but I just don't. I don't see him being able to hurt Robert on the feet to even get to his effective wrestling. And I don't think he's just going to be able to close the distance, throw a jab, and then shoot a single and take him down. I just don't see it happening. I think Robert moves well on the feet. Obviously, he throws combinations. I think he's going to chop up his leg, and I think it'll be an easy night for him.
What about DDP Khamzat?
I think DDP is in danger in those first 2 rounds, for sure. And I don't think he has the best jiu-jitsu. He's just a big, strong dude. And, you know, he's technical with his own game, like he makes it work for him. But, yeah, I think that's a 50-50 fight. Okay. I think Khamzat's got to get him down inside 3 rounds and submit him. More like 2 rounds, just because his style's so energy demanding. And then, obviously, if he doesn't get that finish, I can see DDP finishing him before the bell's over. Because he's just going to keep going. DDP's shown that he can just keep going, keep going. But I don't think, yeah.
One that I'd like to see down the line, Joe Pyfer against Sean Strickland.
Yeah, I think it'll be a fun one.
I think that would be a great one. Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be a fun one too.
I just think, I mean, you're both tall. I don't know, similar body types, but similar styles. Obviously, he's been around a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But I think that's one to shoot for. Obviously, not next.
Yeah.
Although I don't know what he's going to do next. I know they were talking maybe about the Izzy rematch. He turned down a fight recently.
Did he?
He said, yeah. I don't remember who it was, but he said that he wasn't interested in it. Point is, that's one that I almost feel like I could see it. Like I could see the poster. Yeah. I could see this one being a fight in maybe a year or two.
Yeah, 100% in a year or two, 100%. Hey, listen, I mean, if they want to say I didn't have a good performance or whatever, and they want to give me another guy, shit, give me another contract and let me do my thing. I know Andre Muniz ain't booked. I like that fight.
Why is your contract up?
I got one more.
Okay.
Yeah, I got one more. So we're going to renegotiate for sure.
Do you think before the last one, or you'll have the last one and then?
I think we'll renegotiate. I mean, I got 4 finishes, and I just beat a veteran who's going in the Hall of Fame. Why wouldn't you re-sign me?
Yeah. No, I just mean like sometimes they wait for the last one, so maybe your stock is even higher.
Maybe you would know better than me. I have no idea yet.
I think maybe it's up to you.
I mean, I don't want to go in and right before the fight negotiate. I'd rather get this done now.
Yeah.
And then we look for what's next. But like I said, there's a bunch of fights that have to happen. But yeah, I mean, if you want me to fight the stiff competition, I'm going to get paid to fight the stiff competition, and I'm going to get guaranteed. Or at least that's what I'm going to ask for,
Sure.
Ultimately, I have to be grateful, and I fight for a very big organization that I think is the highest level of it. And, there's killers, man. So
when would you like to return?
September, October.
Okay.
Yeah, September, October.
Oh, perfect. The Abu Dhabi card.
That's what my manager said too, and I was like, ugh. I'll tell you this: I go to Abu Dhabi over Mexico.
There's a Vegas pay-per-view early October.
Yeah.
October 8th, I think it is.
Yeah, that'd be good. I want to enjoy the summer a little bit. I got my car back finally that I haven't had for 2 years. I've had it for 6 years. It was the last car I bought. It was a 2000 F-body Camaro, so I'm gonna build that this summer a little bit. I want to do some things this summer. I didn't get to really do anything last summer. I went on vacation. It got cut short because I had the back surgery. So, and I want to get my health right. But I'll tell you this: I'm gonna stay in shape, man. I feel very motivated, and I feel good. I feel happy. I will say that I feel happy despite all the negativity and everything. I just feel happy, man. I feel grateful. Like I did a cool ass thing. Like I got to fight in front of thousands of people, and it's just I feel grateful because it's like, man, everybody said I wouldn't be doing this. And now I'm 14-3 as a professional. Like that's a pretty good record too. Like should be 15-2, but that's pretty good.
5-1 in the UFC.
5-1 in the UFC. 14-3. Like one of them by injury loss, and I'm making money, and I'm fighting, and I'm happy, and I'm getting better, and I'm young. I'm only 28, and I feel like I'm maturing, and I still will always be my immature self, like making jokes and vulgarity and things like that, but. I think people just take this shit too serious, man. They take it too serious. And sometimes it gets to a dark place when it's always like, what's next? What's next? Like, that's the thing people don't understand, right? Like, when you take a fight, bro, you think about it every single day. Almost like how, if you've ever been late on a bill and you're like, man, I got to get the money to pay. I got to get the money to pay. Imagine having that type of feeling for like 2 months. The shit wears you out mentally. So then when you finally pay the bill and then like, boom, here's another one, you're like, fuck, man. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? It wears you thin a little bit. So I don't like to take that moment, even if it was quick or I'm not injury free, and then just, what's next? Like, you know what I mean? So I try to enjoy like at least a month of the summer and then get some dirt biking in with Sean, and we're going to go to International Fight Week, so it'll be fun. I got a couple fun things I want to do. I want to go on vacation, too.
The best thing you said throughout this chat is you're happy.
Yeah.
That's the best thing, because if you're not enjoying all of this, you're living the dream, man.
Yeah.
Most people on this planet don't even dare to dream of the life that you have.
Yeah.
Like, they wouldn't even dare because it's so out of reach.
And I think when you're in it, sometimes you get comfortable, too, where it's like you think this is normal.
Yeah.
Shit ain't normal.
No.
Like, this ain't normal. And then you go to a coffee shop and you realize that person working there, that's normal. And I couldn't do that, and I respect them for it, but I couldn't do that. And I'm grateful that this has worked out the way it has, because it would fucking sucked. Like, I wouldn't like my life if I had to do that job or work at a coffee shop or work at a gas station. Like, I couldn't do it. I would be very unhappy. And I would feel like I failed, like, to be honest. So, yeah, I mean, I have to be very grateful. Like, I got a bunch of people, even though there's the downside with it too. There's, pros and cons. Like, I was begging for this opportunity when I was fighting amateurs for no money and making no money and owing money because I fucked up ticket sales. You know what I mean? And I still wanted to fight. So it's pretty cool that now I get to fight, and I think we deserve more as far as fighters pay and stuff like that. But, I used to fight for fucking nothing. So I'm just happy, man. Like, and I just beat a really good guy. Like, he's only 33 too. So it's not like he's old. Obviously, I don't think he's on the better end of his career, but I hope Kelvin keeps fighting too.
Appreciate you coming in, Joe. Yeah, thank you so much. Congratulations. Keep doing your thing. I like heel Joe, but I like this Joe as well. I like grateful Joe too. Yeah. It's a nice thing. So thanks for coming in. Really appreciate it.
We got to get this bike thing going though with Sean though. Oh. That's the last thing. Make sure you follow up on it.
He doesn't want it. He doesn't want it.
I told you. We got bikes at the gym.
I can't be a bully. I don't want to bully someone into a competition. You saw my guy Connor over there. I think he's afraid of him.
I got to see who Connor looks like. I saw Eric.
No, Eric's not the guy. We have Connor back there. He may not be back there.
Nah,
he's not there. You'll see him in the back.
All right.
I just don't think Sean wants to smoke. It's like it's
maybe,
weird.
Maybe not. Maybe you scared him. But
he's also like.
But thank you for having me.
No, pleasure. You're the man. You're the man, Joe. Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching this video. Before you go, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for us. Also, give us a thumbs up, leave a nice comment. These things go a long way. And while you're here, do check out the rest of the channel. We've got live shows and full interviews, clips, and a whole lot more. We're doing big things here, and we appreciate your support very much.